Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Ed Krupp, Director of Griffith Observatory. Obviously glad to see all of you here on the summer solstice. And as usual, this happens actually every day. This exquisite Los Angeles sunset is brought to you absolutely free by the City of Los Angeles Department of Recreation and Parks, the Griffith Observatory, and Griffith Observatory Foundation. We have an in with Isaac Newton and gravity to make that happen. This is, of course, the summer solstice, and that means that the sunset has been edging ever more north each day along the horizon from the point indicated by the line that everybody is standing over there on and ignoring for winter solstice. But 6 months later it gets here, and it is about to go down on the summer solstice line inscribed on the lower west terrace, provided we have done the arithmetic right. The other problem is timing. When you're trying to catch the sun just as it goes down, you're either too late or too early or something, so you have to help me here. Like I'm not facing the sun and you are. You know, so if it's going down, you have to tell me, get out of the way, and I'll do that. But at the moment, I'm just in the obstructive phase. Well, this is the first day of summer. The summer solstice, you know, it's not that good. Well, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that in a minute. Summer actually officially began at 1:25 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time this morning. How many of you were up then to celebrate? Yeah, all right. Not many. Not many. Well, at the summer solstice, the sun rises as far to the north as it ever does. That's out that away. It arcs across the sky, and when it's due south at local noon, it's at its highest point in the sky for the whole year, not directly overhead in Los Angeles, but close. And then it sets far in the north on this day as well. And after this, it just starts edging back again. And it heads 6 months later back to the winter solstice. But we are at the farthest north point of the sunset right now today. And of course, as indicated already, you have Isaac Newton and gravity to thank for that. You can give a little credit for the sunset to momentum, the law of conservation of momentum, angular momentum, because that's what keeps the Earth turning, spinning on its axis and giving us day and night. We're all grateful for that, I'm sure. But the important thing, the really important thing here isn't the geometry, it isn't the physics. In fact, it's the seasons. That's what the deal really is here. Because what we're seeing in this movement of the sun, which is really the movement of the earth, we're seeing the reflection of what makes the seasons occur. And they occur because of one more important element, and that's the tilt. The earth, you know, what can you say? The earth is tilted. And it's tilted over to the side, and that means that it is spinning a little bit to the side as it goes around the sun. So at one point in its orbit, the northern half of the earth is getting the most direct sunlight, and 6 months later, the other half is getting the most direct sunlight. In June, the northern hemisphere is getting the most direct sunlight. We're getting it now, and of course, all of our friends and neighbors in the southern hemisphere, and they're all upside down there, so we don't care anyway, but they're starting winter. And so you can feel sad for them until we start winter 6 months from now. And then they'll be laughing their heads off at us. But in any case, the angle of the sunlight on the surface of the earth controls the heating. And when it's more direct, as it is in the northern hemisphere now, then we get more direct heating, and that half of the earth heats up more effectively, more efficiently, and you get the warmer seasons, whereas the reverse is true in the southern out on the other side. Well, none of this is news, of course, to any of you I know. And it's no news to any of you because our ancestors have been paying attention to this for thousands, if not tens of thousands of years. You can go around the world and find ancient monuments and traditions that relate to the observation and, in fact, the ritualization of these key points of the seasons as they're related to the astronomical circumstances of the earth. So, for example, Stonehenge, you probably all know Stonehenge, and it is oriented both to summer solstice sunrise and winter solstice sunset. Not as an observatory, which is what Griffith Observatory is, because you can tell by the name, but really as part of the ritual and the tradition of that culture. And there was just discovered and announced this week a new site just about a mile and a half from Stonehenge at a village called Bulford. It's 500 years older than the earliest date for Stonehenge. So that's putting it about 3200 BC. And the archaeologists believe they found a solstice line, summer solstice sunrise line there as well. Just news this week. In the American Southwest, there are buildings that are oriented to the solstices. You can find that kind of thing in the Bighorn medicine wheel from the ancient peoples that lived in the Great Basin in the Rockies. You can find solstice alignments like this in the Maya temples, like Yaxchilan in Mexico. You find it actually just north of here in Chumash territory, where there are rock art sites, where sunlight interacts with pictographs in rock shelters, both at summer solstice and at winter solstice. Now, you can also see that I am interacting with summer solstice at the moment, casually glancing over my shoulder to see how close we are, and we're close but not close enough. But I haven't mentioned yet, of course, the Emperor of China. In Beijing, in China, there is a site called the Temple of the Earth, and at the summer solstice, the emperor went to the Temple of the Earth and conducted ceremonies there on behalf of the society, the empire, and of course his mandate to rule. He did the same thing at the Temple of Heaven at winter solstice, but this is summer solstice, so we only care for that. And the reason that you find this kind of thing going on in cultures around the world is that people recognize there is a relationship between their well-being, their harmonization of their activities and their affairs with the way the world works, that is, nature and the cosmos at large. And they look to the sky for cues to determine what to do when, whether it's agriculture, hunting, gathering, production, it doesn't matter. We have been tied to the seasons for tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years. And so all of that activity then has a seasonal element to it, and it's reasonable, I think, of harmony. I don't mean just little simple everyday harmony. I'm talking cosmic harmony here, and you have to gradually edge that sun down. Now, I'm getting blinded by looking at the sun right now, but it seems to me that it's perilously close to touching the horizon but I need all of you to hold your breath until we get that first little bit. And as it goes, I want you to start counting it down. I don't mean right now. You still got half a disc left. That's like a half and you have a disc left, that's a half a degree of angle. So there's a few more minutes for that sun to get right behind the slope there, Mount Lee. But as it gets close, I think I'm going to need your help counting it down. Ah, I see there is a person actually properly equipped with an official Griffith Observatory solarama. Hold that high. Oh, there's another one. Hold that high so you can actually safely observe the sun and not have to rely on me. Look to them to tell you when the sun is actually going on. And look, I can actually see too. It's beginning to go below the horizon. You can buy a solarama at the Griffith Observatory Stellar Emporium and bookstore if you like. Yeah. And they're good for not only eclipses, but sunsets. So I'm out of the way now, and you've got just a couple of minutes to kiss that sun to you. And this seems like exactly the right time. In Britain, you know, they don't call the summer solstice the first limit. So as far as the Brits are concerned, summer began on the 1st of May. That means all of you have already lost half your summer. It's a tough break. But salvage what you can as that sun goes down. I think you start counting down whenever the spirit moves you, because I haven't a clue. Okay, 10. 9. No, now hold that. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Honestly, I couldn't have done it with myself. You did great. And we shall invite the band back to close out the evening. Thank you very much and for adding such a fine musical dimension to Summer Solstice Sunset.
ਸਾਰਾ ਦਿਨ ਜਾਂਦਾ